And that's it.
Done, we're in.
We're on all platforms. We are raring to go.
Big Calhoun, bring it in.
We are back.
Yeah, it's a big
He's distracted like every week now.
every week. Big
Every
Calhoun,
week.
bring it in. Tell us.
Who are you?
Right,
What's
this
this?
is week number 5
Can you believe it?
of the FIFA Ramble, brought to you by the CalhounReview.co.uk. Just throwing it out there.
Thrown out there.
Throwing it out
Who are
there.
you?
I'm Luke.
I'm Worm.
I'm Alexi.
And this is going to be another catastrophe.
Train wreck, some would say.
Train wreck.
Bloody happen.
Car crash.
Like a Hatton
correction.
disaster. For those. How many other train disasters can you name? I can't name many. That'll be the first point of conversation this week. Train crashes.
From train crashes, that
One in
leads us
Croydon.
into...
Is that what? Is
That's
that
the
one in
Hatton.
Croydon?
You're going to have to let the door. You're going to have to give that a bloody good push.
Alright, I'll give it a big push.
That's not doing anything. It's on the latch. You need to push it so hard that it clicks. There we go.
Yeah, we're in.
So now he's in. He's been in there. So,
We're going to discuss things and play rubbish FIFA for you today. Big Calhoun, Luke is just...
Rory.
He's just checking his phone.
I'm adding people in
Every time.
Bothering
every
people.
time. This is
Go to
why.
bloody YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Go
I
to
haven't
YouTube.
done the link yet.
Everyone on Facebook, go pop
Yes.
along there.
Every week.
Pop along. Every week.
Every week.
We got green tea
Right.
though.
I'll do that. You play.
Hang on, we got wrong mugs.
No, this is my mug.
Bring
That's
it,
my
bring it
mug.
over here. Like, you've got to do some talking. I'll do that.
Invite.
You got to do some playing in a minute.
Right, let's do some playing. You also need to then find the link on YouTube and tap it in.
Okay.
I'm learning week by week Facebook now because obviously this is the only time I ever see it.
Yeah.
Jane Smalley just waved.
Jane Smalley waves.
Who do you think you are,
Darren's in.
Jane Smalley? Think you're the bloody Queen?
Right, so we got Darren in, Sean in, Jane in, Bradley Price is in.
We're not giving everybody in personal introductions.
Alright, they're all in.
None of them.
One of them's fucked off already.
Don't blame him. No, he's coming over to YouTube, isn't he?
YouTube.
First
YouTube.
game. First game.
Right, the YouTube link will be put on here shortly. If you could click that, watch it on
Go
on
on
YouTube,
YouTube.
that'd be brilliant.
Instead of us chatting.
If not, if you go to the review page, there is a link already up there to the YouTube channel. If you go on there, the link, live games on that.
Oh,
So find it yourselves.
I'm livid now. We were so close, and now we're so far. I can't believe we've got to do this. This is a peek behind the magician's cloth again now.
Well, not for these Facebook. They won't have clicked the fucking link anyway, will they? Let's be honest.
No, they won't have. So they're
Do I
not.
need to do
They're
it?
not watching us play football. No, because I will do this now, and I will do that.
Is it just like a blanket in
Do I need to go down? Do I need to press my button?
No, because I think you are. Yeah, press yours, and then pick Skinner when it comes in there. There you go. No, Skinner.
Where are Ready?
So that's it. Right.
That's it.
So we're gonna go.
Let's go.
Do
Right,
it.
So you're pretty much in charge this week.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Right, the first thing then, we're going England-Netherlands, ladies, because they're playing right now. We've watched none of the game,
2.
but they're losing 2-0 England ladies, apparently, at the minute, to the Netherlands, which is right. I believe they've only conceded 1 goal this tournament, up until this point, I believe. And now they've conceded double that amount in 1 game.
Who's Alan Skinner?
Someone, I don't know. He's a very tall man that I met through Chitch.
Bloody shit.
Wrestling fans Wales.
Yeah, get them in.
Okay.
Yeah, they're losing 2-0, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But they did do very well to beat France in the last game. First time they've beaten them since 1974.
Yeah. He says with all the authority of a man who learned that fact at exactly the same time as everybody else.
They're losing already. This is what's happening.
This is art recreating life,
Yeah,
isn't
we've
it?
got a YouTuber in. Have you found the link on?
I'm just on YouTube now.
If you refresh it, there should be a live option.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going out of attack.
That's not the Mark Sampson way. Right, here's an unnecessary talking point for you that's not even on the list. We're digressing before we've even started. with the disparity of recognition between the male and female game, what chances do you think of Mark Sampson gaining a significant position in the men's game if he so wished? And that's not to suggest that he would see that as a step up, but and I've got no idea as to whether he would want something like that at all. But he is Welsh, and there is a paucity of Welsh managers at the highest level.
Yeah, there's the link. I'm pointing.
Why are you pointing at them? You can see they're already.
I'm already. Shall I shout at my mum now?
Just.
There's a link now above. If you could click that, and then you can come watch us play average FIFA and still talk the same drivel. If you've got any questions as well, and you're on Facebook, Sean, if you're still there, mate, I'm looking at you. Give us your questions.
He literally is looking
you
at
are a regular.
Any
Janie, Smalley.
questions?
I mean, have you got anything to say about the graphics at all? But no, to answer your question,
Ian Davis just joined.
We're not doing this.
Right.
I swear, every fucking week I say this. We're not welcoming everybody. Like, it's not like a Valley's pub. Or Cheers. Hey, Nora.
I would love it though if we could get.
What, Kelsey Grammer to come and watch us?
Yeah.
That'd be
Every
amazing.
time my mum joins, all of us like Jane.
Hey, Jane.
She's
not a postwoman, is she?
No, she's not to my knowledge. I mean, she's kept it quiet. She is. To answer your question, no, I don't think he could take up an immediate, like, he could potentially take up, say, a first team coach role, but I reckon that's all he'd be offered.
On what basis?
I think I don't think it would be viewed as something which, he managed England ladies, so, you know, he can manage, I was going to say Port Vale, maybe he could at that level, but not on a big stage, sadly. I don't think that's right.
No, I entirely agree with you. It was not playing devil's advocate almost, but I just wanted to ask the question. And when we're talking then, I was reminded of kind of the reception that Bob Bradley got, you know, a man that not only managed internationally, but, you know, successful at international level, you know, within reason. And he was lambasted because he said things like soccer, you know, the word that was coined in the United Kingdom anyway.
He's now, is he New York FC, is it? Or what is he?
No, New York FC is Patrick Vieira, is it not? The Man City's
he's
Man
just
City's
been
club.
unveiled as a manager of a
MLS.
And
Los Angeles, isn't he? He's the new LA coach.
Is that the David Beckham one?
No, I think the David Beckham one happens later on, doesn't it?
Sean's just piped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Are we doing the people's questions already?
just throw it in. Just get some,
Is
get
it
some energy in here.
Is it relating to Bob Bradley? 'Cause that's what we were talking.
It's not. Most popular played sport in Wales, football or rugby.
Oh.
Well, it depends on what metric, isn't it? What's he asking? The most popular.
Me and Sean have had this conversation.
What's the question?
Popular. Yeah, that's what he said. You've had that conversation.
Me and Sean have had this conversation before.
What's the question though? The most popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a right. That's without being rude. That's a fucking rubbish question.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Most popular on what metric? So most played, most viewed on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So what would?
Not yeah. Don't do yeah as if it was obvious. I'm a man of science.
Right. Well, most viewed. We've had this conversation, me and Sean, before, because I pointed out to him, he's a very, very big rugby fan. And
That's his first mistake.
And I pointed out to him, I said, I found it weird that at club level, say, I used to work in Bedwas and living in Penarth and travelling back and forth on the train. When there was a Welsh international on, all the train stunk of was cheap perfume and fucking Lambrini, because it was middle-aged women travelling down from the valley to watch the rugby. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, they love it. But you ask them who plays for Cardiff Blues, couldn't tell you. Who plays for Ospreys, couldn't tell you. But they knew Wales were on and they supported Wales. My mother-in-law does the same thing. She says she loves rugby, but she couldn't tell you who plays for any of the club sides. Yet at international, Wales sell out the ground. They sell out the Millennium. But if Cardiff Blues played there and Ospreys, they're not selling it out. They're just not. Whereas Wales football, they play at Cardiff City Stadium, and Wales football wouldn't sell out the Millennium Stadium at the point we were having this conversation, where I was like,
Sean said popular/played, which doesn't help you.
That doesn't help me because he's asking for two things simultaneously there. I imagine that it's probably a lot closer in terms of the number of people that play it, and I will be facetious and scientific about this. And the reason why that will be was because there are just more rugby players in a team. It's why in that I'm being facetious there because American football is considerably higher played as a sport than it actually is because of squad sizes. So rugby, probably it'll be close, but probably rugby.
I think internationally it is. I think that's the whole point of what we were talking about.
I think more people play football though by a considerable margin.
Club football seems to be more. Club football is more supported than international football.
Yep.
And it's the other way around in rugby.
In Britain. Actually,
yeah, in Britain.
What you need to say, because abroad, the international in Italy, particularly now that they've decentralised the stadium and they're moving around the country like England did when they did that weird mini tour. That was new desk. I got fucking coasters up here. I swear to God, Jane Smalley, you're an absolute disgrace. What's she doing? She's going to make a cuppa? Yeah, well, when you come back, put it on a fucking mat. I bet Jane Smalley has it on a coaster.
But, yeah, I just find
Smalley
it weird that club rugby in Wales isn't as well supported as it should be.
I don't think it should. I mean, let the audience decide themselves.
Not should be as in quality deserves to be supported, blah, blah, blah. Quality as in if Wales rugby can attract 80,000 people.
No, it's a different. It's essentially a marketing exercise. So a Welsh international isn't actually for many about the sport. It is, and when I say the sport, I mean the actual technicalities of the sport. Wales internationals have done a very, very good job of marketing the day out in Cardiff city centre.
Yeah,
it's true. Like you say, the fake Welsh shirts, the jeans, the pink cowboy hats.
Oh my God! Yeah.
It's the whole. I'm offside. It's alright.
Your flare off.
The whole shebang. And so it's an event that actually gets sold versus the actual thing. And I think that football, because of its popularity at club level, has never bothered in the UK to engender that family thing. And equally, if you look at Wembley, the cost of tickets, they're not worried. The cost of tickets isn't extraordinary, and the percentage of corporate tickets that get sold will do enough to fill out 2/3 of Wembley as it is, and so they don't need to engender that thing.
Still 2-0.
Still 2-0.
Still 2-0.
Art imitating life.
But yeah, me and Sean talked about it before because I said that all it would take. And I'm not sure if I've been proven right on this or wrong, but I wondered if Wales football, like Wales International, had a successful tournament or became a successful team, which to an extent they had a good Euros obviously, but if they're a successful team or not we could debate. But I wondered if, because the club football was there, the support was there for club football, but it wasn't there for international. And I use the example of when Cardiff Blues and Cardiff City were sharing that stadium. The Blues couldn't sell it out, but Cardiff City could. I was like, if Wales had a really good international tournament, became a really quality side, or at least a decent side, rather than playing the Faroe Islands or whatever, would Wales then become the national? Football become the national sport?
No, and because I think it's what you touched on there. I think the overall quality, because of the tiering systems that they have in international rugby, in terms of the qualifiers, etc. So the Six Nations and all that stuff. I think that the average Wales rugby international quality is considerably higher than the average Welsh football international, because as you say, they'll be playing Burkina Faso, or they'll be playing whoever, Zanzibar or the Seychelles or something. The quality is fairly poor, whereas Wales will regularly be playing the top 8 teams in the world.
True.
Anyway, so I think that puts that one to bed. One, because rugby bores the life out of me. It's a football podcast. Thanks for the question.
There we are, Sean.
I'd like to know what Sean thinks.
Sean went to the Euros.
Nice.
He was there for the Portugal game.
So it was his fault.
Yeah, it was indeed.
It was his fault. Right, should we? While we're playing this, do you want to talk about not only the?
Should we move on to the Drinkwater?
No, because we haven't even done the first one. You moved it on again.
Oh,
Every week he does it. He wants to move on to the next one.
Right. The reason that we did this, one obviously because it's happening now, but the other one is I thought
what a
lovely little story this week was that the Arsenal ladies, the exceptionally
storied.
Arsenal ladies side. Well, Arsenal Football Club released a statement saying that from now on, it was to celebrate the 30-year anniversary, I believe.
Yep,
of
30 years they've been supporting that.
30 years that they've been pioneering women's club football in the UK. That from now on their website and on their social media and so on, they will no longer refer to the ladies' side as Arsenal ladies. It will simply be referred to as Arsenal, and then the pictures and the story will explain and show which team they are referring to, which I thought was brilliant.
But the second part to that is that they will be on match days and within the league they will be Arsenal women's, and I thought that was really interesting again because we were talking when we first started talking about the women's game. I actually did a brief 30-second thing about the difference in names, etc. I said that some are called women, some are called ladies, etc. And didn't really understand whether one was viewed as potentially more, it was sexist or it was, I don't know. It was suggested. It was suggestive. So yeah, I just think it's a nice thing.
I think and I thought the statement that they released, I thought it was brilliant.
It was very Arsenal.
It was
very Arsenal,
good,
you know that.
But they know how to
that marbled.
To do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true. It's. I love the idea of you're just playing for Arsenal. You're not playing. Mm-hmm. You're not playing for Arsenal ladies. You're playing for Arsenal. And
who'd you play for? I play for Arsenal.
It's also partly because most of the squad would probably get into our first team at the moment. If I'm honest, we got a couple of very, very good midfielders that could absolutely fill a gap.
Do you think Arsenal don't get enough credit for this type of streamlined behaviour?
Arsenal don't get enough credit in general.
I see. That's really interesting.
Wow.
This is where being a fan of a club, you actually are more critical. I think we get far too much credit for that, classy Arsenal nonsense. I think that a lot of that has gone out the window.
I mean, obviously, I mocked them for not. What's Sean said? Well, Steve's in. What's Sean said? You're leaning in far too close there.
I need some varifocals for. And I was doing my reedy frown.
That was terrifying. From the Facebook viewers, that was.
From start to finish.
Well, if the Facebook viewers don't like it, get on YouTube. I'm much further away on YouTube.
Much further away. Click on YouTube.
I've got a distant star.
Steve's in. Steve, mate, click the YouTube link. Go on there.
We're still introducing people individually. This is fucking.
Last one, I promise.
Yeah, the last one was the last one you promised. When this becomes huge and you're welcoming in 10,000 people a week, it's like
yeah. Roger's in.
Yeah. Well,
again.
Yeah. Roger's from Namibia. Right, so we're going to move on now because we've covered a bit of that.
I don't think we have. I think that Arsenal. Honestly, I think that they deserve a fuckload more credit than they got. It was not mentioned on Sky Sports because they were too busy pissing around with Neymar. I think
confirmed now.
I think it was brilliant. Again, I think I'm biased.
Is it happened now, is it?
Yes.
Well, sort of, but let's not even bother talking about it because people have pissed me off about it this week.
Barcelona for a world record fee. 200 million.
But what annoys me is that I thought Arsenal saying basically every side is Arsenal. We're Arsenal. We're not going to refer to you as ladies. The side anymore. You can just say Arsenal. I thought, what a great story. I looked on Sky Sports News. It was fucking nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, which I thought was shocking. I really
think it'll get confusing?
No.
I'm looking for the changing room. I play for Arsenal.
It's true.
I think I think you're playing the fool there.
I think semantics.
I think you know damn well.
I just did think it was a bit. Again, can we just briefly, because we've mentioned it now, can we briefly talk about my annoyance this week about this Neymar thing? Can I just throw it out there, get it out of the way,
let's do it.
and then leave it?
222 million euros.
Right, Neymar's signed
Come on.
for PSG, and all anyone has said from BuzzStream and everywhere else, you need that, don't you? Money grabbing. Fuck you, money grabbing. How do you know? How do you know that? I'm assuming all these people who said, he's only gone there for the money, have asked him. I'm assuming they've all know the inner detail.
You're going to have it on your face when you find out that everybody has.
Yeah, when I find out that
he was on Reddit doing it, any questions answered, and everybody.
But do you know what I mean? I just felt like, right, hang on a minute. Maybe, as we covered very early, I think in episode 1
covered it
of this,
completed it.
We completed it. Neymar completed it. But we said that maybe he just wants to win the Ballon d'Or. Maybe he just really, and he realises that it's going to be difficult to do that when he's playing aside with Messi.
Can I add in one extra thing? And I wasn't going to comment on it, but I am now. Really interesting. So they were talking about it being a huge step down, and they were talking about it being all about the money, and it may well be, etc. And so we've covered the Ballon d'Or stuff, but 2 points that I think are really interesting. The one point that somebody made was that he's moving from the third richest club in the world to the fifth richest club in the world, and the fifth richest club in the world now doesn't have a squad of 30-something-year-olds with significant squad issues beyond the front three. If you look at Barcelona, they have got an aging midfield. They have recruited incredibly poorly over the last 3 or 4 years. Their defence is going to be an interesting one. I think they've got Umtiti in now. Their wing backs have been a bit of a problem for 2 years. Their central midfield is all over the shop at times. They've got a load of players that are coming to the end of their careers, I think, at the highest level, and they've proven that they can't buy well consistently, and Neymar potentially has looked at his age compared to everybody else and thought there's an opportunity elsewhere. And then additionally, so I think that, from a footballing perspective, whilst Barca have got the bigger name, if you look next season at who is more likely to win the Champions League, I wonder. An easier league for PSG every single week, other than a couple of weeks a year, and you can go and do it. And then can I just quickly make the second point that people made, and I thought it was a really interesting one. Nobody would have said a word if he'd have joined Manchester United. And Manchester United are a considerably worse team than Paris Saint-Germain for the last 3 or 4 years. Nobody would have said anything if he'd have joined Manchester City, because that's another big club. But Manchester City are nowhere near PSG's level in the last 3 or 4 years.
Wrapped up in this country, though.
There's the weird snobbery that goes around it, and so I wonder whether that might play a part as well. So sorry, go on.
It's also the fact that I think it's tough for Barcelona to recruit, or any big clubs to that level, because of the name. Like, it's the same with Arsenal. They suffer. The same with like those high profile teams. It's a tough recruitment thing, and they're already talking what they hear. They're going to replace him with obviously Coutinho and Hazard. Just boom, there it is. Throw in hundreds at it. Like Coutinho, like what, 80 million, 100 million.
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy, and that's the carousel because it's at the high level.
One additional point, and I'll bring it back to Arsenal like I do every week. The thing that was somebody made a point today, which I quite liked, was it makes Alexander Lacazette's potential signing, Arsenal, but potentially even better. So the money they paid for him is increasingly week on week looking reasonable.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on him. Nobody is talking about him. Everybody's talking about the other clubs. And for a player who's going to come into now the Arsenal fans are going to have significant expectations of him, I think. But do you know that name that you just said then? That is exactly it. Eduardo. Didn't
under the radar.
Under the radar, and barring injuries, was an absolutely quality footballer. And yeah, so you've covered your name, Arno. You've lured me in to round it up.
I just wanted to get it out there because it just irritated me a little bit.
So, Danny Drinkwater, explain to me why you've got Danny.
How old is Danny Drinkwater? 27. It's 27.
27 then.
27. Hard life.
And so,
Paper round
Adam
the
Paper Brown,
Baghdad,
was that lives at the bottom of a steep hill? Is what they
Penny
used to.
Turnpike.
Paper round the Baghdad. Danny Drinkwater's on there because Manchester United this week signed Nemanja Matic, and immediately Chelsea. A lot of people I know
Because they can't get Renato.
Yeah, suddenly we're like, well, that leaves us a midfielder short because of Loftus-Cheek and Nathan
Solanke?
Chabala.
Oh, yeah.
Going out, England were beaten 3-0.
5-1.
Yeah, no.
Mark Sampson did better than Luke Smalley. That's interesting.
Mark Sampson didn't fucking score, did he? They are kicking them.
No,
they immediately got linked then with Danny Drinkwater because everyone seems
because football is broken.
But people seem to then immediately sort of go, oh, Danny Drinkwater, wow, yeah, that's ridiculous. And mainly non-Chelsea fans that I saw on my Twitter.
Yeah, mainly sane Chelsea fans, non-Chelsea fans. Yeah.
But one thing I thought, right, how much are we talking for a start? But also I thought, right. Basically, Danny Drinkwater's got England caps because of Kante. Yeah? Kante was so good that he got Danny Drinkwater in the England team. That's how good he was. He got him England caps.
Do you think you're just devaluing what Danny's done?
No, because I think last season Danny Drinkwater was shit. Kante wasn't there and Danny Drinkwater got exposed. That's my opinion.
Season before that, though, that's when he
Season before that, because Kante was there, he looked like a world beater. He's got those England caps. He should be giving them to Kante and saying thank you for them. Now, I think Chelsea, if they've looked at it and thought that they could get him for a reasonable value, if they could replicate his form next to N'Golo Kante, I thought it's quite a sensible purchase as a squad player. No one's saying he's getting in, week out. They're not trying to, they're not bringing in, I'm trying to think of it, Vidal or whatever. They're bringing in a squad player. And they're thinking, well, when he played next to that other guy that we've already got, he was actually really good.
In a completely different system, though.
Yeah, in a different system.
Although, to be fair, they are Chelsea are more counter-attacking.
It almost looked. I was like, well, actually, I could sort of see some logic there.
I can't. Because I genuinely believe that Danny Drinkwater is hugely overrated, and I think that Chelsea will have players, and I do seriously mean this, out on loan at Vitesse Arnhem and others who are better or would be better long term than Danny Drinkwater, and that the priority there should be playing those. Why buy somebody else if you want a squad player and you want a British and you're worried about the British quota or something?
Yeah,
bring in one of your play Solanke, play somebody, play Rubens.
My friend Jack Crosswell, Maverick2_ on Twitter, he's a good follow. He's a big Chelsea fan, and he said to me, that he thought it was baffling after we signed Matic, and he said, you've got a great player there. And I was like, yeah, no, thanks. And I was very happy with Matic signing. He said, we're short, and it baffles me that we've let him go to you without bringing someone else in. But his opinion, he was like, well, we should have just kept Loftus-Cheek. Why did we send him out on loan if we were willing to let Matic go? And, I see what he's getting at. But I just thought there was, at least, it seemed as though they were sort of, some people were just saying, why have Chelsea have just picked a player? But I thought, well, no, there's at least a little bit of logic. Danny Drinkwater looked the best he's ever looked next to N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, and he still didn't look as good as other midfielders that year.
That's true.
Even that year, even in Danny Drinkwater's best ever year, he didn't look as good as other midfielders in the Premier League, all of whom Chelsea could pick up. Yeah.
If you were Drinkwater, right, would you have hot-stepped a move straight away, or would you have stayed at Leicester?
I'd have gone, but then I wouldn't have been at Leicester in the first place, probably. That fucking club culture there, Jesus Christ. I mean, in all the fairy tale, I think everybody's forgotten what a horrible fucking club that was.
Did
the
he
season
sign
before.
John Terry?
He was only ever going to join Brucey, wasn't he? Looking for his Brucey bonus.
Captain, obviously.
Leader of men.
And did you see John Terry said this week that if if Villa got promoted this season, it would rank higher than anything he won at Chelsea?
Yeah, yes, because they're being paid. He's being paid to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Did he not also say that he wouldn't play against Chelsea if they got?
Well, he didn't want to sign for another Premier League side because it would be too hard to play against Chelsea.
Yeah, but then somebody
his
put
aim
to
is
him about
get
the FA Cup,
Yeah,
and he said that he wouldn't play against them.
something like that. It's still being called a one club legend. That's another thing which irritates me. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, John Terry, they're all being called one club legends. Well, they're not, because they didn't just play for one club. They're not one club legends. Stop calling them one club legends. John Terry.
They are legends at one club.
They are legends at one club, but they're not one club legends in the Ryan Giggs mould, who only played for one club. You start your career at a club, you finish at that club. That's a one club legend.
Are you allowing loans in that as a youth?
Allowing loans. But Steven Gerrard kept being called a one club legend. So right, he's playing for another club right now.
Yeah.
It's not. He was a legend at Liverpool, but he's not a one club legend because he hasn't just had one club. Same with Lampard. I mean, Lampard being called one club legend is ludicrous, but he was.
Do people genuinely call him a one club legend?
Yep. There was a fucking sign.
Yes,
there was a sign. It was probably a bedsheet.
Oh, it's probably one of
that same guy who did remember that bedsheet that he wrote.
Probably one of Wayne Bridges' Mrs.
We used to love you, Frank, but now you're dead to us. And someone put on Twitter, this guy's actually said, as he's walking out of the house, his missus probably turns to him and says, "Why are you taking the sheet?" You'll see it later.
You'll see, love.
You'll see later. I'm going to go tell Frank Lampard he's dead to me because he signed for Man City.
The sad thing about that is that it's like Daryl Strawberry in my favourite ever Simpsons episode. Daryl, it's okay, Marge. They're professional athletes, and Daryl Strawberry's just crying. That's yours.
Have we got any more?
Well,
it's half time. Is there any more in the teapot?
Hang on a minute. Let me have a look because I'm falling behind here. But it's a lovely drop though.
But no, I mean Danny Drinkwater, I think would cut. But do you see what I mean? At least it was just my Twitter was awash with that's ludicrous, and I was like, well, at least there's a semblance.
I'm fucking pouring it for you.
At least
Jesus Christ, he's living the high life. He is in his house.
He poured it with skin, isn't it?
Poured it with skin. He's closer.
Not upset.
He's not upset, but he did pick up the small things there.
I mean,
Rifts are forming in the Ramble cast.
I've only been here for 3 hours, but never mind. He wanders in whenever he wants.
Having tea poured out for him.
Oh.
Like the Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba didn't drink tea.
5 hours.
She didn't come around to see your VR.
Not a euphemism.
How would you know? You're not here.
I was live streaming the whole thing.
At one point, I did. Sorry for people who are watching. You don't know. I came round earlier and I had Worm's VR headset on to try it out because I've never tried it before and it was amazing. But at one point, I was talking to him and asking him questions and there was silence and I'm like, "Is he still here?" And then suddenly a voice appeared. "Sorry, I didn't answer your questions. I was filming you." I was like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Yeah. Computer-based cuckolding.
Yeah. So I was watching a Champions League final little video and yeah, I thought, "Oh, it can't be it." Had headphones in, everything, and then a voice. "Sorry, I didn't answer you. I was filming you."
I was filming him.
It was most disconcerting.
Didn't see what I wasn't wearing when I was filming it either. Right, what else we got? We got Jones suspended.
Should we see if anyone's got any questions on Facebook? If you've got any questions, let us know.
What we got here? What we got in there?
Joshua Jones.
Is the stream working okay for you all? Can you see it fine?
That's because look at that on my phone. That's what it displays on my phone when it's live, but on there it's fine. So I was just a bit confused.
Oh, so you wrote that, did you?
Yeah.
Fine.
That's why my name's next to it.
Oh, is that how that works?
Oh, it's like showing Facebook to my nan. Weirdly.
Your nan will understand it much better than I will. Good lord.
But yeah, the next thing that we were going to talk about was the United doping row.
Big row.
Big row, like literally just a row. which, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Because...
So talk about it then. So
okay,
just
right. So
don't talk about it as if everybody knows.
Anyone who doesn't know, this week it's been announced, it came up that Manchester United defenders Phil Jones and Daley Blind
enjoying themselves.
Have been cited by, I was going to say USADA, but it's not, is it? It would be... it wouldn't be UCAD either. The UEFA anti-doping, because they were asked to take, they were the two players picked to take drugs tests after the Europa League final, and they both caused a bit of a stink about it. Apparently Daley Blind was, in the words of the official, polite but stern, but agreed in the end, whereas Phil Jones just went off, just kicked, he pulled the face, he kicked off, he was not happy, he was calling them all the names under the sun. They both took the drugs tests that they were asked to take, and both of them passed, but because they rowed about taking them, Phil Jones has been fined and suspended, which means that he misses the Europa Super League, what's it called? Not Super League.
The Super Cup.
Super Cup. That's what I was looking for. He misses the Super Cup now, and Daley Blind's been fined. They've both been fined £5,000. But it now turns out that because it was sort of, the story was they wanted to celebrate winning the trophy. Turns out that's not what they were actually wanted to do. Manchester United had organised a photo to be taken, because the final was, I believe, 2 days, or no one, was it 2 days?
Maybe
after the Manchester...
They were banging on about after the Manchester bombing.
Yeah, it was the Manchester bomb. It was more than 2 days, actually, because the Manchester... No, it might have been. I think it was 2 days after the Manchester bombing.
If you keep arguing with yourself on stream,
I know.
We'll all catch up with you in a minute.
Right, so let's assume it was a couple of days after the Manchester bombing.
Was it?
And Manchester United... I don't know, 2 days I heard. They had a sign saying Manchester together, stronger, or some equivalent, some hashtag that was being used at the time.
Were they not being slightly tongue in cheek by saying Manchester United to prove a point?
Maybe something like that. But they wanted to have that, and that's what they wanted to be in. Now, Daley Blind is in that photo because he was quite nice about it. He said, "Oh, can I take it later?" And they said, "No, you need to take it now." He said, "Okay, if you come with me, can I take it later? I don't mind. You can stay with me the entire time. Can I just jump in this photo?" And they said, "Yes, okay, as long as you've got a chaperone." And they had a chaperone with him. They watched him. He took the photo. He took the drugs test. Whereas Phil Jones kicked off apparently so much that they said, "No, you're not allowed in the photo at all. With chaperone or no, you have to take it right now." So the only United player who was in the team that day, or the squad that day, who's not in the photo, is Phil Jones.
And I tell you what, those victims, those families from the victims there, they will never be able to get over the tragedy there because Phil Jones isn't in that picture. I don't get it.
No,
footballers,
this is
get
where
over
I
yourself.
don't get
it's
it.
part of
What
your
I
job.
can't work out is why Phil Jones would decide, I'm going to yell about this so much.
Well, you know why? Because he's an idiot.
He is a fucking...
He's an idiot.
God, I can't believe
and
that
footballers
we're starting a new season soon and Phil Jones is still playing my fucking...
This is what this rant was meant to be about, wasn't it? You were using the doping as a way of just moaning about Phil Jones.
It was just something that came up that wasn't transfer speculation.
Thank God. No, right. It's probably as a result of footballers always getting their own way, never being told. And
spoiled child.
When it comes to doping, football's got a particularly poor reputation amongst other top sports for its controls and its measures and its fairly laissez-faire attitude towards all of this stuff. And I think that footballers just don't respect the process in the same way that athletes do. And when I say athletes, I mean track and field athletes. Yeah. And I think that Phil Jones probably is used to arguing his way out of a load of stuff.
I also think it's a sign of how they are psychologically. Did you see that thing I sent you today about body language and how far along they are
I haven't looked
psychologically?
Yeah, I did. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. I think I'm playing you.
Oh,
lush. I get to sit out, play on my phone for a minute.
So we are playing
What the hell is this?
Burnley Hanover. So yeah, I thought it was interesting how they profile people psychologically, like players, in terms because they got people watching their social media, and then they actually pick up on body language as well as what they post and what they profile and what kind of person are.
Okay.
So Belletti, for example.
Why can't I work out where Hanover is?
It's in Germany.
Germany.
I was in Germany. I went there straight away, and I cannot find.
So Belletti, very good prospect because of he posts about
They're in the
his
second division.
posts about his wife, posts about family things. He's humble because he posts stuff about appreciating him with his dad. Lots of the city, that sort of thing, for example. Whereas like Raheem Sterling or Diego Costa, different thing altogether. So where are they psychologically? How much of a risk is that going forward? So they're profiling them. Like I bet Arsenal must be boss at that.
I hope so. They bought Stats DNA for all that. We'll come on to that.
Can I just throw something out? And I just want to know if it's on there. Sean, are you still here? Because if he is, he asked a question.
He's asked 2 questions. No, wait. We're not going to do that just yet.
I want to know if Darren and Sean are in.
Don't worry. We'll ask their good questions. We're going to ask them anyway.
Okay.
So,
but I wanted to know if he was here because Sean complained that we'd never answer his questions, which we do. He's just never here to see us answer.
Well, that's all right. That's his own fault. Time, tide, and worm waits for no man. So Darren made a good point as well. Petr Cech couldn't celebrate winning the Champions League with the Chelsea team in the dressing room because he was being tested. Yeah, absolutely. And frankly, Petr Cech could celebrate for the rest of his career that he won it, but he has to prove that he wasn't doped. I'm not a particularly sentimental or emotional man, so I'm probably not the best to judge it for everybody, but they're the rules.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They're the rules. Get tested. End of. Yeah. It's really, really simple. And yeah, I mean that's just the way it works. So Sean has asked a question, and he says, the top 5 English Premiership players ever.
English.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
English.
Lampard. And it's English, not British, yeah?
Says English.
Okay, well I'm going to say Paul Scholes.
Yeah, that's because you're a Man United fan and you're wrong.
This is where I can see, as soon as I said that, I was
that's
like,
alright.
Lampard and Scholes.
Later on we can talk at length, and I can point you towards the Michael Cox piece.
You already have.
Yeah.
I disagree with it entirely.
You disagree with all of the stats and the facts that he portrays because you're clouded by your Manchester United bias. Paul Scholes is hugely overrated, and a couple of a couple of testimonials. Like Xavi opened his mouth once whilst also talking about 5 other people. Sadler always wheels this shit out. The people that fucking said that Scholes was the best player ever, I don't care. No, he wasn't. He had about 3 half good seasons, then scored some goals, and his impact was actually quite minimal.
I just enjoyed him as same as I do
Scholes
player.
Favourite.
I loved watching him.
Favourite to watch isn't the same as best.
No, but to me he was the best. I love him.
Okay.
I love him. I would say Lampard, Scholes, but because he gave me the most enjoyment. I loved Paul Scholes.
Roy Keane's Irish. Sorry, Jane. He doesn't count. It's English, not British. He doesn't get. I agree. It was just tough luck for Czech. He accepted as a pro. Yeah, that's exactly it. He absolutely should have.
Well, you would accept. He's that sort of man.
He is. He accepted it in 7 languages. Do you know Petr Cech speaks 7 languages?
Does he?
Yeah, and he taught himself in the hotel rooms on away games most languages because he said that travelling away is incredibly boring, and rather than waste his time he thought he'd do something worthwhile, so he taught himself Spanish, and you can plot his career with the languages that he's taught himself based on the central defensive partnerships he's got in front of him. So he tries to communicate with his defenders in their native tongue so they don't have to translate in their minds. That's a man for you, eh?
Easy.
What a keeper.
Jane Smalley's now scratching her face. Is that what that emoji is? I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's thinking.
Oh, she's thinking.
She's thinking. Right, okay. Lampard, I'm going with, and I am going with Scholes. I'm sticking with him. Shearer. has got to be on there.
Ian Wright?
No, and I wouldn't put Gerrard on there. I don't know. I've only got 5. I mean, Alan Smith. Tony DeRigo. It's hard. Right, someone else pick some players. Or have I got to pick my 5? Okay.
You can do whatever you can do whatever. I'm really ambivalent. It's a good question, but I just don't care to answer it. English.
Right.
5 best English
So
players.
I'm going to go Scholes.
What, like as like a five-a-side team or what?
No, just 5 best. Right.
Gerrard number 1, surely. Well, not if you're not a Liverpool fan.
No, I wouldn't. Gerrard might be on there, but I, to this day, say Lampard is far superior as a footballer.
Hang on. Sean has now clarified. The audience is now getting better. They're clarifying their questions.
Wow.
What they actually mean. This is getting good.
Sean, mate, after our message, you're now a 9. You don't know what it means.
Out of 18. Premiership from 92 onwards, and I meant any player in the English Premiership.
Okay.
Oh, right, well, that changed everything.
That changed
everything. Right, well, I'll
Dennis
answer that
Bergkamp.
question now then. I will say Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Gianfranco Zola.
Can I put Ruud van Nistelrooy on there?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because he's he's arguably the best finisher. Best in the Premier League, then, I would put Bergkamp, Zola, Ronaldo.
No, Ronaldo doesn't count.
What do you mean he doesn't count?
He doesn't count.
Played in the Premier League, how can he count?
Because he wasn't... There's no way that the time he was playing in the Premier League...
When his first Ballon d'Or, yeah?
There was no way! There was no way! Fine.
He won his first Ballon d'Or as a Man United player.
Correct, that's nonsense.
But he did.
Cantona by a country mile. Cantona, probably not by a country mile. Cantona's not better than Dennis Bergkamp, but Cantona will be in my 5. Yeah.
Cantona would be also because he helped make it what it was, didn't he? Really, literally, also the man to kick racism out of football.
Well, he didn't, because people are still being racist.
No, but at the time,
he didn't kick it out. That's not how that worked.
Fits to the gallbladder right now.
I think Cantona. Yeah. So
Cantona.
I'm saying Bergkamp, Henry. There's the theme. Bergkamp, Henry, Zola, Cantona. Oh, there's and then I just need my 5th is just going to be every other player that I love. There are so many. The Premier.
I can't believe saying Ronaldo doesn't count.
I just don't think he does.
I can see what he wasn't here. His best years were away from the Premier League.
Yeah.
So far, but he did. Yeah, I mean, essentially, he had 2 seasons really.
There are loads of players for me, and I know we're having 2 conversations at once, so that's fine. I want my 5th to be a combination of less. No, I want my 5th player to be a combination of all the weird and wonderful foreign footballers that have been in the Premier League who have been an absolute joy to watch. So, Georgi Kinkladze, Ravanelli, Sasa Kurcic, Davor Suker, for me, again, as an Arsenal fan. I want Emerson to be in there. Did I say Ravanelli and Juninho? Yeah. But anyone that's ever played for Middlesbrough.
Ivan Ocampo.
Can I throw someone out there? Not for the random list now of all of them.
That's my.
Can I throw someone just because I fucking loved him as a player? And again, he may be in the Ronaldo school because I do agree with you really in Ronaldo in that he didn't have the impact that Bergkamp had, who was the greatest Premier League player of all time. He is definitely number 1 for me, Bergkamp. Claude McAley.
Yeah.
I bloody loved him.
No, I think I really like Claude McAley, but I think he was.
And Essien.
I like Michael Essien. I think he's very good.
Ooh, do you know where Michael Essien is playing now? Do you know who he's playing with?
He's in China.
Mm-hmm. And he's playing with Carlton Cole, who's just been basically sacked.
Basically, for because they didn't
Because
realise
he
how
said he's
shit he
shit.
was.
Right,
Darren
Gormley
Gormley said DeCanio.
hang on a minute.
Sorry.
Canio's in
That's
there.
your job, isn't it?
This is my
DeCanio's
job. He's bloody taken
quality.
over.
The whole point of this is the person not playing Leeds that, yeah.
Premiership or wherever shouldn't be both. Yeah, that's fine. So just back to 92.
Ali Dia.
Now, Darren's all English thing. I fucking hate Steven Gerrard. No. This is an excellent list. There's only two that I disagree with. So I'm going to go through it.
Overrated.
Beersley,
Oh.
I cannot get on board with that enough.
Yeah.
Chris Waddle, cannot get on board with that enough. Lineker, I struggled because I was a bit young and
Hang on,
a biased Arsenal fan.
Is this just English?
Yeah.
This is Premier League though.
English Premier League, yeah.
Gary Lineker didn't play the Premier League.
Wow, from 92. He was playing in 92.
Not the Premier League. He's probably in fucking Japan, wasn't he?
Was he playing at Nagoya Grand Passage?
Gary Lineker never played the Premier League.
I'm still giving him that.
Walk.
Gerrard.
So
Lamps.
you're not giving me Ronaldo, who actually won a Ballon d'Or while playing in the Premier League, but Gary Lineker.
No, just because this
Even
is a
though he's
different.
playing
This
for
is a different kind of
Osaka or
list, isn't
whatever.
it? No, Nagoya Grand Passage, surely.
Yeah.
Lamps and anyone that calls him that really annoys me. And Joey Cole, who is an entertainer. Yeah, it's a completely different list to what you were saying, and I like it. So
They've each got their merits. I can't believe you've allowed him Gary Lineker.
well, that's all right.
Oh, sorry.
Shit on your list. Gary Lineker did. So yeah, I tell you what, I could talk about old Premier League players.
You're not watching on
Old
YouTube,
foreign
you just
Premier
missed
League
an
players.
absolute howler.
I could talk about those all day, but we're not going to because we're
Everyone
gonna.
agrees Schmeichel, right?
What?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
hang on,
Peter
hang on.
Schmeichel, yeah.
What, Premier League?
But then,
Yeah.
but then you got others as well. Like John Lukic was
Can I
absolutely
just throw it
incredible.
out there though that as much as Schmeichel was brilliant, Van der Sar was better. It's just saying.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he was. I think Van der Sar was a better keeper.
In a,
But
in a more
again,
modern
I
age
will-
of goalkeeping,
I
I'll have
will
to give
throw
you
it
that
out
on
there.
some level.
I will throw it out there that I may be biased
So
because of the cartwheeling twat
He was
celebrating when Man City
I
scored
liked him
against
because he
United.
was understated, Van der Sar.
Van der Sar, I would think, was a far better quality, but I am aware that I do have a
Yeah.
level of hatred now for Peter Schmeichel because when he played for Man City and they scored against us, he did a cartwheeling celebration, and ever since
That's
then,
the reason why, isn't it?
I've wanted
It's
it.
not a technicality.
No.
That's all right.
I still think-
Why can't a player celebrate a goal being scored?
Was this before or after the Gary Neville interview?
I believe that was the same game. No, when he's in
well, that's
it-
it'd probably fire you up, wouldn't it? Though.
but yeah, no, I do think Van der Sar was better, but Schmeichel obviously is on that.
Schmeichel's
And frankly, when you've
Ruud
witnessed
Hellit's got to be on that list.
Franny
surely.
Lee scoring a goal, Peter Schmeichel was going to go bonkers. I'm assuming that Franny Lee was still playing for Man City back then, wasn't he?
Probably. Half the Man City fans couldn't even tell you.
That's not fair.
They weren't born, were they? Or
That's
they were
not fair.
Or were they still supporting Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal or that?
You weren't
They
Or
weren't
Man
supporting
United.
Arsenal, they weren't supporting Arsenal. No. So, I suppose we should move on. Iheanacho, 25 million to Leicester.
I rate him.
Good signing, I think, because I heard it was a loan deal, but then when I heard, when I saw it was a transfer, I thought it was really good. Apparently, there's buyback option.
50 million buyback option.
50, is it?
Yeah, that's what was reported.
Must have-
That might be baloney, and I don't care because it's transfer numbers and they mean nothing to me, as I say every week.
No, it's
Kelechi Iheanacho is one on a long list of people that Skinner has had to hear me bang on about for years. Watched him in a couple of youth tournaments. I watch a lot of the UEFA.
Knitzon's a fan.
I watch a lot of the UEFA, the junior UEFA Champions League, because genuinely for me, as a fan of the game of football rather than the narrative of football, and I appreciate the irony as I'm creating narrative of football as I'm talking, that competition is the most fun because I love watching high quality kids that you've never heard of and trying to pick out who's actually going to be the big ones. Kelechi has been on my list for about 3 or 4 years. I've been banging on to Skinner about. I think he's fabulous. Interesting that he's been sold, as you say, not alone. For all the talk of kids and what have you, Pep Guardiola has never really played that many kids outside of the phenomenal ones that he's had at Barcelona. He's not.
Kelechi stepped the fuck up.
He scored 13 goals from 19 shots on target in his Premier League career. That's absurd.
Has Pep Guardiola ever really brought on youth that he didn't coach when he was the under 21 or under 23 coach of Barca?
He was a B team coach of Barcelona, wasn't he? So
but will Iheanacho be as good if Danny Drinkwater leaves? Because that's where the magic lies.
It really isn't. So I really like Kelechi. I think that he is
a great striker.
In
this market, again, I know we don't talk about the value is irrelevant, blah, 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 but in this market, I think 25 million, that's a really good price for youth, promise, potential.
The kind of service he will receive will be interesting because he played a very specific type of forward for Man City, and I think that he will be expected to do a very different job at Leicester, but I don't think it's beyond him. He's shown promise, and I would really like him.
Does
I would really like him to be good.
Does what happened, where Mahrez plays next season, have an impact
on
how they utilise him?
No, because I'm assuming he's gone. Mahrez. They're talking now that he's gone to either be Arsenal or Roma. Yeah.
Roma was what I heard the Arsenal thing.
Yeah.
I hope that's not true.
What's that, a Roma?
No, the Arsenal.
You don't want him at Arsenal?
Not really, no.
Why? Because you think it'd be good for the Arsenal team, or because
no, I don't think
you're just not that fussed on the transfer?
No, I'm not that fussed on the transfer. I think it would be nice if he went to Roma.
Okay.
I just think that you've got a lot of those sort of players. That's the first time I've beaten you.
Lost.
Pass my phone to him. I need to do the questions.
Apparently I've got to do this. What'll happen is, the phone will be passed to you, and then Luke will read all the questions off there anyway, out of order.
Yeah, I'm completely out of order.
Completely out of order, that'll be fine.
Completely out of order.
You've pressed buttons again, haven't you?
I have, I don't know why I do it every week.
Every week?
Every week.
It's fine.
Every week.
It's fine. It happens every week.
I think he's a good signing. You do?
I like Kelechi. I think he'll do well. I think he will score 11 goals next season.
So more than Javier Hernandez.
We've discussed the Hernandez.
Eventually, we're going to have to start writing this stuff down because you know what I'm like. I will say that I didn't say those things when in fact I did. Can we just swap a minute so I can play?
We did a thing, didn't we? How many goals will...
Yeah. No, it's on record, right? We haven't written it down, have we?
No, we haven't, but...
we'll need to.
We said a conservative 8.
Very conservative. Which is good considering you play for West Ham.
Might be alright, mate.
God, I hate West Ham. Okay, so next story. We want to cover Sevilla. So, Jesus Navas
Not surprised.
has gone back to Sevilla. He was released from his contract at Manchester City, and he's gone back.
Gonna break Luke's heart.
Gonna break your heart.
Gets lost in those eyes.
You love his eyes, don't you?
Those eyes, man, I'm telling you. He is a fine looking man.
He's a handsome son of a gun. And Luke's not afraid to say it. If he sees it, he says it.
That's what he sees.
That's how he rolls.
Catchphrase.
That's how I roll. Yeah, no. Did you see the unveiling? I think I sent it to you.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. They've unveiled him.
Ah, right. Okay, it's brilliant. They two guys put
One cup.
No, it's worse. Two guys pull up. There's a man walking down the street. Two guys with masks on. Grab him. Put a black bag over his head.
You need to come in, friends. You are very edgy.
On the edge.
Two guys with masks on throw a black bag over his head.
Yeah.
Throw him into the boot of a car.
Ah, the old asphyxie reveal.
Yeah, they throw him into the boot of a car. And then they drive off at high speed. They get him out of the boot of the car. They throw him down this like long passageway. You don't know what it is. And then they take off. If they don't take off, he takes it off himself. But he takes the black bag comes off, and it's Jesus Navas, and he's in Sevilla's ground, and he's like, "I'm home," and then it says "Unveil Navas" down the bottom. But it's a kidnapping.
Two questions.
Yeah.
One is about why the fuck does this happen in football now? Why is that a thing? Like this unveil, announce bullshit.
I'm willing to be wrong. However, I believe United were the first to do it. Manchester United, that is. There are other Uniteds out there.
Other Uniteds are available.
Other Uniteds are available. But I believe Manchester United were the first to do it with Pogba last season when Stormzy did the video.
I think that's probably the most popular. I don't think it'll be the first, and I will try and find out which one was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the first. Like I said, that was just the first that I can,
That was the first mainstream one, wasn't it? With
yeah.
Stormzy doing his thing. So I can't abide this bullshit. There's nothing for me.
This was when I read this.
That won't surprise.
What were your thoughts on the? Yeah, what are your thoughts on the new unveiling of players?
I fucking hate it.
And I didn't put it in because I knew.
Because you knew as soon as we started talking about it, I'd ran.
I knew, as soon as I saw the Navas one the other day, I thought, well, I'm not even going to bother putting the question in because it will immediately come up.
I can't handle it.
It's worth watching though.
I'll watch
a lot of money behind it.
Right. Okay. So that's my first issue with it. Second issue, from a narrative perspective, that doesn't work. You can't simply kidnap a player and force him to sign for you. He's been released on a free from Manchester City and he's had to sign a contract.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
They're creating football fiction.
Maybe they made him sign it in the book. We don't know, but he certainly was happy about it. I mean, as kidnapping goes,
we've had a request from someone.
Someone?
Take your tops off. It's your wife.
Oh, is my wife back?
Again, every
Jesus
week.
Christ.
He's wearing a vest. That's pretty close.
She's not asking about me. I am the least good looking one here by some distance.
I've got my Watchmen t-shirt on. This guy like leaving us.
Who's watching the Watchmen?
Who's watching us?
Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in the room.
Nikki's far too beautiful to be wasting her time with this nonsense. What the hell are you doing with your life, woman? You're like, you're beautiful and intelligent. Go and do something worthwhile with your massive brain. This is bullshit. This is three fucking idiots.
That is how That is how it is branded, though.
Well, yeah.
Three idiots talking shit.
She's called you a charmer.
She's called me full of shit is what I am.
Silver tongue assassin.
She's better than this, honestly. Anything short of reading a Dan Brown novel, I'm happy. She can go and do that. I just can't stand this. It just goes back to the narrative of football bullshit. I'm so uninterested in all of that stuff. Like, unveil, and I appreciate that I'm not the target audience here. Like, I am an old fucking miserable curmudgeon, and that's fine, it suits me. But I just not interested in unveiling players like that. No, don't like it at all. So yeah, anyway, that's a nonsense. And as I say, secondly,
one was probably the most modern pop cultural.
That's pretty cool. That was,
but it wasn't necessarily. There wasn't a story to it, was it? It was just essentially a Stormzy music video with Paul Pogba.
Right. The thing that I liked about that, and I thought it was pretty good and interesting, was again it was a further appreciation of counterculture, and it goes on for the whole Grenfell stuff. And I think what interested me quite a lot was the same with like the stuff from the general election as well, is that an awful lot of stuff that was being said is actually from this kind of black counterculture, which has now found itself with a voice in the mainstream rather than out on the periphery, and the fact that eventually, after however many years of being completely ignored, despite having said really interesting things, they now find themselves front and centre of popular culture, both white and black culture, which I think is lovely. And if that manifests itself in important ways like the general election, then great. If it also manifests itself in unveiling of football players for multi-billion pound corporations, then all the better, I suppose, because so be it. And yeah, I'm not so fussed about that, and I suppose that's probably going to surprise a couple of people because they think I'm generally miserable about everything. But no, I was alright with that. Just this bullshit story nonsense.
There's
it's not for work.
Today, I haven't watched it.
It's Besiktas.
But apparently,
it better be Besiktas. Have you seen that one?
I'm sure it's Besiktas.
Yeah, the phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Besiktas. Yeah. It's probably the best thing I've ever seen. It wouldn't get a D at GCSE A level. It wouldn't. It's just someone else. Why am I walking that in?
Have we got any Arry news? I haven't had any Arry news.
Have you got an Arry update?
We've got an Arry update. Should we
Did he roll down a window and give you a...
There's, if you look... right there, I've got two little bits of Birmingham City news, which I've sort of said Harry news, because I just felt that they were...
Is Scott Minto signing?
No, he's trying to sign Ravel Morrison at the moment.
You're winding me up.
No,
he actually?
Ravel Morrison is currently training with Birmingham.
Yeah, of course
yeah?
it is. Yeah.
But the story gets better. He's trying to sign Ravel Morrison. They've given Lazio an offer of a loan deal.
Yeah.
They've said no. They want him to be signed. They want him to be signed. Now, Ravel Morrison has played in the last two Birmingham City friendlies for Birmingham City. Apparently, this is news to Lazio.
Now, is it really? Well, they don't even know.
He's training. He's essentially on a bit of a trial, but he's still under contract with Lazio.
Well, De Laurentiis isn't going to take kindly to that. He's a chairman that does not get fucked up. If he's still there, in fact, I haven't checked.
What I have heard is that yes, he has played 2 games for Birmingham this pre-season. However, Lazio sort of were like, is he?
Good on him. He won't fucking play with us.
Yeah, they're like, good. Is he? I didn't know.
I wonder if he's getting paid and he's letting HMRC know. He's going to be... The tax levels on his second job there are going to be absolutely astronomical. Absolutely astronomical.
Right, quote from Arry Redknapp then.
Go on then. Just any quote, or is this pertinent to what we're talking about?
City will face a difficult season if they cannot sign new players this week, says manager Arry Redknapp.
Arry Redknapp in I need to sign more players, shocker.
We've been trying, but it's been very difficult to get players
in.
in.
Impression?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Keep going.
Twitch.
Oh, stop it.
We've been chasing. Who's he been chasing? He's been chasing. Hopefully we'll get there. It's not been through lack of...
Gary McSheffrey. Probably.
Cracking.
Aidan McGeady.
Oh,
he'd be good. But he's not frustrated. I'm just desperate to do well. But I need the tools to be able to do that. If I get the tools, I'll do that.
Nice.
If I don't, then it's going to be difficult.
Harry Redknapp is both building a football club
Give me the tools.
and a shed.
Give me the tools.
Okay.
Give him. Give him the tools.
I can't.
I cannot now remember the side because there's another bit of Harry Redknapp news.
This is very news.
I'll wait until, because it's nearly half time, and then because the exact club is on my phone. However, there's another
This
bit
is
of
absurd. I can't believe Harry. How is he still getting jobs?
When I saw Ravel Morrison, but he is there on.
I really like Ravel Morrison. I think he's an interesting footballer who went.
That's my phone.
He went to go and resurrect his career. He surrounded himself. He grew up on. This might be complete bullshit. I might be making it up, but I don't think I am. He grew up in incredibly poor circumstances, and so he grew up with people that weren't necessarily, your white classic white middle class privilege.
Yeah.
Like he didn't grow up in Penarth like I did with the people that surrounded me. Some of those people made poor life choices or alternative life choices, and so they kind of followed him around, etc. And he got into some serious trouble. Football became a bit of a distraction for him, and so he took what I thought was a really mature decision to go abroad to try and give himself a new perspective, and it hasn't worked out as well as it should have. But I don't want to criticise him. I don't want to criticise him for that. So I think it's a good move. I actually think he's a good footballer. I mean, the QPR thing didn't really work out. And
surprisingly, where was he last season? He went somewhere on loan. Maybe it was QPR. Apparently,
he's QPR.
Well, he scored something like. You're gonna have to look it up, but I think
you're gonna have to lolook it up. You've been told.
I think he scored 6 goals in 12 games.
I was just looking at the farewell from Neymar.
I couldn't give a fuck.
Couldn't give a shit.
Right, Ravel, yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. Right, while I've got it, let me have a look at this, because the other bit of transfer news, or the Harry Redknapp news,
which I thought
was wonderful, is this. Robbie Keane was offered a contract at Birmingham City, and apparently he's turned it down because he's to sign for Atletico de Kolkata. He has decided the Indian Super League is a better option than the Championship.
Well, but he did support them from kids, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Atletico Kolkata. He had the bed sheets, he had the tiffin box, he had
the curtains.
He did have the curtains.
Wallpaper.
He had a wall banger.
How old is Ravel?
26 now.
How old is Ravel?
I'm going to go 24.
24.
How many goals did he score for QPR? Because I was surprised. I thought it didn't work out properly, but
in 15 appearances, how many goals did he score?
It was about 8, I think.
6.
Which I thought was semi-decent.
Yeah, that's good. In not a great QPR team either.
That was his biggest haul, actually.
I mean, he's a great footballer, but obviously being a United fan, I used to watch the youth team, and it's just sad because he was so fucking talented.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, though.
Happens all the time.
Never even see it.
We've all been talented international sportsmen that have wasted their lives and become fat and lazy.
Yeah.
Haven't we? Or is that just me sat on the sofa? Oh, I could have been somebody. I am the fucking sporting Marlon Brando. I could have been somebody. Yeah.
You haven't got full on Captain Kuntz yet, though. So
yet. Cannot wait. Right, what else are we going to talk about?
An Oscar because of treatment of American Indians. Or Native Americans.
Native Americans, thanks very much.
I went a bit John Wayne then, didn't I?
You bloody did.
I went a bit Jamie Vardy.
The old values.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Right, what else we got? What else we got to talk about? Are there any questions?
I'm intrigued about...
Is Nikki, I want to know if Nikki's got a question. Should have a question. Other than, can we take
your tops off?
Can we take our tops off? And that's not a question, is it? She's being ironic there, and that's basically she's mocking us, or me, basically. I mean, people would like to see you with your shirt off. You're a bloody handsome man.
I don't think it's a thing.
She's married to him, so there's going to be no interest in that. And she's taking the piss out of me.
None at all.
It was a 3-tiered joke. It was like a wedding cake joke, if anything.
They're the best kind.
Just going to let that marinate there like a Christmas sponge.
I have got some...
I'm really intrigued about United ABC.
It's genuine. I think it's not as interesting.
Oh, okay. You built that up too much.
I didn't. You built it up too much in your own minds.
You let him do that.
Yeah. You lured me in.
You're the fantasy editor.
Mourinho, all of his signings have been in alphabetical order for United.
Is that true?
Every single one of them. Alphabetical order.
Talk me through that.
Okay. I'll pass that to you while I'm playing. There's his signings.
So
okay.
It starts with Arry Bailly, yeah?
Arry Bailly, yeah.
Arry
right,
Bailly.
hang on, let me see if I can... I'm not going to be able to work this out.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay.
Henrik. Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey, yeah.
Mr. PayPal. Paul Pogba.
PayPal.
Lindelöf.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
Between everyone, you're going to blow into the top of your phone, yeah?
Matic.
That's great.
And Paris Africa was doing it.
Keep doing that.
Yeah.
That was good. It's alright, it's picking up on
It's
that.
like panpipes. Well, I didn't later. Yeah. And then Perisic? Question mark?
But yeah, it was, he is so well organised that he's done his signings.
And I got that off United in Focus. At United in Focus. United in Focus.
Are we contracted to say that 3 times?
Yeah, United.
Is that what we've got to say? Is this are you trying to flog someone else that you're involved in?
I've got Eboué. Tell me.
I was
tell
trying
me,
to put
tell me a
I
story.
was trying to put a GIF up earlier,
Right, okay.
and I went with an Ramsey one in the end. But yeah, no,
With
that's
Dolly
the
Parton.
truth. I want this game to end now because I want to get onto swap deals because I've got some great stuff, but it involves me having my phone and you two playing.
Okay. Sure. Are there any other questions? Has anybody got anything?
There are. If you go into my Google Docs,
I've locked this thing, so. I can't Google.
I was going to tell you my password then, but
Don't do that on stream. I'm making hay while there's. Terrifyingly, you are more organised in defence when you're letting the computer do its stuff.
To a different one. If you click out of that,
Yeah.
You can do 8
And
different ones.
Games podcast.
um,
Listener questions.
listener questions.
What inspires young footballers to reach great heights? And if you could choose just one inspirational story to make it into a film, which one would it be?
Right, well, I'm going to go this week. Neymar. And the reason I'm going with Neymar is because following on from all the stuff, it's the biggest story in football at the moment, though, isn't it?
Who's that guy who plays for Newcastle?
So I'm going to very good. But name of that documentary.
Yeah,
No, so Neymar, and the thing again, where people are talking about him being a money grabber, etc. His dad and his mum lived in absolute squalor and poverty. Neymar's mum, when they were pregnant with Neymar, Neymar's parents were so poor that they couldn't afford an ultrasound. So they had no idea. Like Neymar was genuinely in danger of being, kind of a very dangerous pregnancy for parents. They often had no food, they had no lights, etc. And apparently his father worked 3 jobs, was incredibly dedicated, and in spite of some of the the paper talk and what have you recently, apparently has been an incredible influence on his life. The boy's only 22 at the moment, but there's been talking about how he's been an incredibly grounded influence on Neymar and has consistently told him that, along with all of the nonsense about him being the next Pele, etc., the only way that happens is by a huge amount of hard work. So I think that it's quite easy to slag off somebody's parents when it comes to that, and talking about the man's making huge sums of money and the move from Santos was dodgy, but I think it's a remarkable football story. I really do.
Just away from the reality of everything, though, isn't it? When you're telling me someone wouldn't leave their job for $3,000 extra.
Yeah, because that's how that works, isn't it?
I know it's a bigger thing altogether, but Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of money.
This is what's been annoying me always.
There are loads of good.
Just been annoyed everything about the Neymar thing.
Loads of good stories. The guy whose name completely escapes me now, who was just entered remission from his second cancer. I should remember that guy's name. I think Aaron Lennon is an interesting story. A man on the front.
Hell of a good ending.
A man on the front line, openly talking about
nothing.
Mental health issues. I don't think we can celebrate that enough. I think you could talk about Robbie Brady. You can talk about players braving coming out. I think that there are a load of stories. You talk about hardship, and the mind naturally goes towards the players growing up in the favela or being surrounded by the almost like the Ravel Morrison thing. But I think there are also interesting stories to be found elsewhere. I genuinely think the Robbie Brady thing and the reaction to Robbie Brady coming out and what that actually meant and how
any underdog story though. It is any underdog
story. Yeah, Sean and Bradley Wright Phillips, adopted into. Ian Wright took them on. They took on his name.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know. You could. There's probably really good ones that I've got no idea about, if I'm honest.
What was the Petr Cech question on there? Did we cover that first of all?
No, we haven't yet.
Why am I playing Burton Albion, by the way?
Because it's the start of the Championship this weekend.
Bluebirds.
And Cardiff are playing Burton, and we've never played this either.
And we never will again. Burton's kits are abortive. They are... sweet mother of God, they are horrid.
Get Ricky Lambert on.
Bang him on.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Well,
Is that Marvin Sordell? Good. Well, he's starting. Go on then. Sorry. Is that Michael Kitely as well? It really is. This team is a fucking catastrophe. Is that John Flanagan? No. Oh, goodness me. He is a big-eared boy from the farm, isn't he? If he's not from Norfolk, I will eat my hat.
He's from North Norfolk.
Is he? He might be from North Norfolk. He's up by Thetford Forest. Do you think?
Skinny, you Cardiff?
I am, yeah.
I was about to say, you've got no Pilkington, you've got no Ricky.
Pilks is up there.
He's just put him on. He's only
Give
just
me
put
a
him on.
second.
Alright.
Give him a second. What else have we got going on here?
While he's doing that, my wife's still calling you a charmer, basically.
She's not still calling me a charmer. That's editorialising. She tongue in cheek called me a charmer once, and nobody else has commented. Don't belittle her. She's got enough on her plate having to deal with me right now on her night off.
Swap deals.
What was the Petr Cech one?
We can do the Petr Cech question now if you want. It was from someone who I follow on Twitter, who follows me on Twitter, who is an Arsenal fan.
Mug.
And it's Joel Wells 4 at Joel Wells 4. He said,
hang on, I'm going to spill tea on live stream.
I wrote it down, but he said, and I quote,
what's the point?
And I quote, as for real life football, is Cech... I didn't need to read that, but now. Right. Is Cech on his way out? As an Arsenal fan, I feel like the only one who really noticed his performances dip on the tail end of last season.
Right, well that's not true. He's not the only one that noticed. He's not the only one that noticed.
It's his influence and his the potential of what he's teaching the youngins coming through. It's not necessarily his performance, which obviously that is important, but it's for a greater perspective, really, I think. And he fits in with the ethos completely as well.
Right, statistically, yes, Petr Cech is getting worse and worse. There are a number of metrics that point that out. Interestingly, and we'll come back to it because this isn't actually one question about. Petr Cech is one of the worst penalty-saving goalkeepers in Premier League history. Often now, I think his percentage of diving even the right way is the lowest in Premier League history. Which is something that people don't talk about. He's incredibly poor at saving penalties. Is he getting worse? Yeah, like markedly worse, which makes it all the more confusing about the Wojciech Szczesny thing. But obviously there's something behind the scenes that we don't know, and it is what it is, so it's done. So you nearly lamberted the life out of me then, didn't you? That's
within an inch of your life.
Lambert put it on a plate then, so he was both Lambert and a butler. Wasn't very good, was it?
I like it.
It was alright. It felt laboured.
Felt forced. I like that.
So yeah, Petr Cech, meh. He doesn't do an awful lot for me, which is ridiculous because I was quite happy when he signed.
Surely you appreciate his influence and...
I don't know whether I do. The goalkeeping situation at Arsenal boggles me. You know, Emi Martinez has just signed for...
That was a funny noise. I didn't expect that noise.
That was my brain going into the old dial-up internet. Then it was going so far back in time that I actually had to dial up the internet. Our phone lines went down, as if we've got a phone. Who's got a landline? That's just gone down, the landline. Go hit the post then.
The goalkeeping situation is bizarre.
I just don't get it. David Ospina's failed to deceive.
But then there's always been
Flattered to deceive. Sorry.
undertone of like when Manuel Almunia was in front of.
Be there for ages.
Like Jens was the last official. Like.
Well, we've had two goalkeepers in Wenger's time. Two good goalkeepers in Wenger's time. You know, we had Jens, which was an interesting signing. And then we started with David Seaman, and then subsequently we've had a load of really weird goalkeeping purchases. It's alright, we'll get Sebastian Frey next season, like we were always going to. And I've Hayden Trabelsi at right back, like we were always going to. And we were going to have Sebastian Frey in goal. Yeah, I think it's time to pay a check. When I really do. I think that there's... Well, yeah. I think that Wojciech Szczesny should be playing the goal for us, but whatever. I think that's a good question. So
should have been.
Yeah,
should have been
so.
the one.
He was equally gutted about Szczesny leaving as well as you two.
Yep. Disappointed that, despite if you score now, I'm going to be gutted. Yeah. So you want to talk about swap deals, do you?
Yeah, swap deals.
Any swap deals coming through?
Right, I've done it. Well,
the merry-go-round.
The reason I started researching swap deals, one, because I kept meaning to, because we've talked about them before. We've talked about them for like 4 weeks now, and I've never looked them up. None of us have. We've all been sat here with phones saying swap deals don't happen. We could have looked this up, but we didn't. And I kept forgetting to.
You can prove anything with facts.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to. And then I saw a rumour and it involved another swap deal, and I was like, I can't be bothered putting on the run, or the swap deal never happened, we've discussed this. And then I thought, you know what, I'll have a look at famous swap deals and then link it into this rumour that I heard. Can't find the fucking rumour, don't know what it was, forgotten it, couldn't find what website it was, nothing. So all we're left with now is Guardian Football Weekly's top 5 swap deals, or transfers that involved a player
and
in
cash.
direction.
Yeah,
so
fine.
it could be
olive oil.
It could be a swap deal, just a swap deal, or it could be we'll give you this pile of cash plus this man for that man over there. Okay.
10 litres of olive oil.
Yeah. The first one. Do you want to try and guess any of them, or am I?
Yeah, I want to guess all of them. I want you to.
That night.
No. Not on there.
No. So I want you to tell me the first player, and I'll see if I can pick who was part of the swap deal.
Do you want to know the player and the club he went to, or do you just want to know the player?
Yeah, the player and the club he went to.
Okay. Inter Milan and Christian Vieri.
I fucking know this. This is really annoying.
So who did they buy him off?
We were talking about Christian Vieri.
We did talk
I've
about
gone
Vieri
completely blank, and I know this answer. That I know the whole answer. No, go on, fill me in.
They paid Lazio.
Yeah.
69 billion lira. I've got on my phone. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was million, billion.
No. The lira is worth absolutely fuck all, because the
so
Italian economy was and still is an absolute catastrophe.
69 billion lira for Christian Vieri, and they threw in Diego Simeone.
That's the one, they threw in Diego Simeone.
So they got 69 billion lira, which may or may not be a large sum of money.
Yeah, it was.
Diego
Huge sum of money at the time.
for Christian Vieri. And he only stayed there for a year.
Simeone?
Vieri.
No, Vieri had an incredible...
We went through...
He had one good season, yeah.
We went through his club history on a previous episode, so I won't do it again, because you can just go back. They're all there. Don't be lazy. Watch it.
No one's watching those. I barely watch them back.
Yeah.
I'm in them. I probably don't watch them because I'm in them.
Right, next one. And you'll know this one. Ashley Cole.
William Gallas to Chelsea.
So
Number 10.
I know.
Captain William Gallas.
Barros at Liverpool. What number was he?
Milan Barros.
Mm-hmm.
Was he something like 2?
5.
I knew he was I knew he had a stupid number.
5. It's another one. Yeah, so when Chelsea signed Ashley Cole. From Arsenal, William Gallas went in the opposite direction.
We only got like 5 million from there or something, didn't we?
Yeah. He was 5 million. You're gonna know this one as well. Zlatan
Ibrahimovic.
Oh, what the Barcelona?
So Samuel Eto'o to Inter Milan.
And again,
Samuel Eto'o and £3 trillion.
It was 35 million.
Yeah.
£35 million, which now seems nothing, but at the time I remember thinking, Jesus, there's a lot. And also Samuel Eto'o.
Was it Chigrinsky as well? Whatever the
Chigrinsky played centre back, yeah, so he came for like 35 million.
That was around the same time.
Yeah, that's what
wasn't it?
Shakhtar Donetsk.
But that wasn't a swap deal, was it? That was just like a fucking.
No, it's just not being able to buy defenders. Trying to buy the new Carlos Puyol, based almost entirely not on stats but on who looked quite like Carlos Puyol or Carles. Well then, who else we got?
Right, Defoe.
Willem.
Yeah.
Was it a pet?
Jermaine?
Was it a Portsmouth move?
No. Do you want to know where he went?
No.
Oh, was it Canada?
No.
No, go on.
So, when he joined Tottenham,
Yes.
and he joined Tottenham from West Ham,
Yes.
and they would have got.
The next two are my favourites, but yeah, you're nearly close. I mean, it's podcast gold.
There's a silence with me forcing myself to have an aneurysm. It's like
him have a nosebleed.
Jesus Christ.
This is
Go on.
just
tell
for
me.
the edit. 90 minutes in is the nosebleed starting. Bobby Zamora.
No, wouldn't have got that. That's really annoying. Should know that. Didn't know it.
They Spurs paid £7 million and Bobby Zamora for Jermaine Defoe. The first time, because he signed for him about 5 fucking times. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good one. I quite like that one. The next one, right? The next one is a two-parter, and it's brilliant.
Will I know this? Do you think?
It's very obscure. You will know it because they are.
As soon as you said it was obscure, it's going to turn into a yeah, probably. Then.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the real ones.
Right, they are okay. Right. Kevin Davis.
Barrel chested.
So Bolton,
No.
Portsmouth.
No.
Did you play for before?
Kevin Davis played for a few teams.
Yeah.
He means national barrel chested Kevin Davis. Was this recently?
No. 1998. I hate
Southampton.
Well,
Alan Shearer.
it was he left Southampton.
Alan Shearer?
No, he left
Go on.
Southampton.
No, I don't know then.
Okay, did you give up, Skin? Right.
Yeah.
Blackburn Rovers
I fucking
paid
said that,
Southampton £7 million
Right, hang on. Yeah.
plus a player for Kevin Davis.
Blackburn.
If anyone knows, Rob, I think you're on.
Go on.
James Beattie.
Yeah.
Right.
Should have got that.
So this,
Should
yeah.
have
So
got that.
Blackburn paid
Similar.
£7 million plus James Beattie to Southampton for Kevin Davis in 1998.
Yeah, should have got that.
And this is where it gets better. Rovers then got relegated that season.
Okay.
They got relegated, and then Kevin Davis went back to Southampton. This time in a direct swap for Egil Ostenstad.
Oh, what a
Austin
player!
Stout, good player.
No Marion Pajas, but
So
No,
yeah,
he's another one. He's up there with
it
George
was just
University.
It was a straight swap deal, that was. No money. He went back to Southampton, and Eggy Ostenstadt went down the Rovers.
That's some great players there.
That's been I'm really disappointed I didn't get that. I reckon I could have got that.
Right, last one. Tony Cascarino.
No, I know. Everton.
This is in fairness, you won't get this one.
Like Hibs?
No.
Go on.
In January 1982,
I was born in December 1982, so come on.
January 1982, Gillingham swapped training equipment and tracksuits for Kent side Crockenhill FC's Tony Cascarino.
Is that right? Is he a Kent boy, is he? I didn't know that.
It was 10 tracksuit bottom and top combos and some
Matching?
cones, apparently.
Okay, you saw the one this week, did you, about the guy who got swapped for 10 litres of olive oil?
Yeah, 10 litres of olive oil.
Some deals have just got to be greased. With grease in the palms.
But no, those last two, the James Beattie ones. The James Beattie one. And
Don't want one, mate. One score. One play score. I bet the crossbar 3 times. I'll post twice. The crossbar once.
Ruined it.
Eggy Ostenstadt. But I did like that one. I did like the fact that he got swapped. And then he went straight back to Southampton. But they went in Southampton, we're not paying for you.
Any books?
Yeah, is anybody sending any books this week?
Right, yeah. There are 2 book suggestions this week.
Are they both from you?
No.
Are they going to make me angry?
No, well, yeah, it's up for
They
debate.
are, aren't they?
Up for debate. No, the one was from last week, which was On Penalties by Andrew Anthony.
Yeah.
Which was suggested by Darren, which apparently is a comedic view of England being shit or something.
Yeah.
The other one, it's not really a suggestion, but I wanted to bring it up because it suits. Dan Brown is releasing his new novel, Origin, in November.
Is he really?
In October, sorry, even
Cheeky,
early. You haven't got that long to wait. And
Oh, thank goodness, I'm on tenterhooks.
And if you pre-order it now for £3, if you pre-order it now,
I can't believe you're advertising it.
I'm just saying. If you pre-order it now for £3
Keep saying it.
in WH Smiths, it's half price.
He's ready to go already.
I saw a massive poster for it.
He wants you to hurry up. He's already moving his bag to go. He wants to wrap this shit up.
That's my book suggestion.
Go over. Are we even going to play this last one? We're not, are we?
Nah, let's call it quits at 5. I think 5's a good number.
Yeah. Skin wants to go. We're done yet. So next week, and this is the joy of it. Fuck me, this is so good. Next week. So the Charity Shield, and we'll call it that forever.
Again.
The Community Shield. The Charity Shield happens, which is still bullshit, so I don't care.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
Don't care. The don't know, don't care. Saturday, if any of you know, fucking write in, I swear to God, don't care.
This weekend,
Don't care.
Don't care. I'm like Andy Tate, I don't give a shit. It's not real football. The Championship starts, I presume that Scottish football starts then as well, but as we know, that's not real football either.
No.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? The Championship starts, that's good. So League football starts. And then we are like 10 days away now from the Premier League starting, and oh my God, this is when we're going to come into our own. We are going to argue so much about people, and I'm going to spend so long telling you that I think Chris Brunt is really good. Just every week. Every fucking week. I love Chris Brunt. So we're going to talk about real football soon, and then hopefully that means we can play. The intention, and we said this from the beginning, the intention for the Ramble is that we will pick. We think 5 is a good number. We will probably pick the most interesting game from. The basis will be that we will pick the most interesting game from each of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Mm-hmm. But if there are other standout games that we wish to play, we'll swap those in and out. We want to do that because we don't just want to play the top teams, we want to play the most interesting teams, we want to play some most interesting fixtures. we also want to be able to do stuff like me and Skinner talk about a lot last season, like teams like Nice doing incredibly well, and we want to talk about those breakthrough teams. So we'll try and play them a little bit, talk about the players, Montpellier, Boston, kind of that stuff. We want to talk about Sassuolo in Italy. We want to talk about like the interesting stuff that's coming through. So we're hoping to do that, but we will play some of the big teams inevitably. But we want to avoid as much as that as possible, because most of the chat might focus around that, but the rest of the conversation is probably going to be about the smaller teams that we play. So we want to do that. Then we want to do the standard. We want to talk about books. We want to get some questions in.
And Luke actually beat me in FIFA this evening, which I think it should be celebrated.
It did that now. That's the first time I've won. It's taken 5 weeks.
No, you beat me last week. You made a big song out. Was it a draw?
It was a draw. It was a draw.
Really?
Remember I was Faroe Islands going on with the points.
Is that right?
It was 4-4. Brighton Montpellier. No, that was you beat me as Brighton. I had a last minute equaliser, then you scored a last minute winner, and then I had missed an opportunity when I won the keeper. But
memories. So that's it.
Thanks for watching.
That's Ramble 5 over. They're not getting any better. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do the first awkward.
You do the first awkward. I don't have to do an awkward one anymore because I've got.
We can do.
What you do? Which one is he pressing?
That.
He's read the instructions there.
Look at that. And then
He's
I
read
can
the
do.
instructions.
Bye.
Next week.
Done.
Bye, Nikki.